Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I'm so glad you're here with us today. I want to talk to us on the subject of credentials versus education. And they're not always the same thing. Hey, we're glad you're with us today. I was reading a professor I really respect a lot, and somebody came up to him and said, I want to earn a doctorate. And so he said, why do you want to earn a doctorate? He said, so I can learn. Well, the professor said, well, if you want to learn, get some books. You can learn reading books. And I would say sometimes you can learn much more in certain fields by reading certain or several books than you could going through class, going through college. I know that may sound inimical, but I've been a college instructor for many years now at several different colleges, and was in college for quite a long time as well. And so I know, again, that seems strange, but it is true that if you go into, like the great books curriculum and these type things, that you can actually learn more than in a classroom, because different things in a classroom, you never know who's teaching, never know what they're teaching, never know the books they're having you read. And then when you're doing it 3 or 4 or 5 subjects a semester, sometimes I'll just say it's this, human nature sometimes is not to learn, it's to do and accomplish. You're just trying to get through that class and maybe make an A. And to make an A, you have to pass certain benchmarks. And you don't necessarily have to learn everything about it. You just have to write the papers, take a couple, 3 tests maybe, and get the A. But it's not necessarily about learning. So credentials and education, educar, to pull out, are not always the same thing. The disciples didn't have credentials, but they certainly had an education because they had sat at the feet of Jesus Christ. And so on the flip side, this is not universal what I'm saying. I would want a brain surgeon to go through the classes to learn brain surgery, heart surgeons as well, pilots as well, which I know there's a lot of experimental in pilots as well. They actually do the hands-on and these type things. So there are certain fields of inquiry, probably nuclear physicists and these type things. My sister's a nuclear engineer, that you would just want to get the credentials, and the credentials would show that you have the education, but not every time. In Luke 16:15, Jesus said the things that are highly esteemed upon men are abomination in the sight of God. And I've known many credentialed people that were not very educated. And that's a sad thing. On the flip side, I've known many people who weren't credentialed, but they've got the school of life, the school colors are black and blue, the school of hard knocks, and they're extremely educated. And many times older people are very educated, even if they're not credentialed. And I'll tell you this too, just because you're old doesn't mean you're educated. You could just be old and dumb. And I don't mean that insultingly, I'm just trying to be descriptive. And I've known many young people that are very smart, but usually young people have a little bit of hubris, and haven't had enough time to learn certain things, and this is why we should respect our elders. So I just want you to keep in mind the difference between education and credentials. They're not always the same thing. God bless. We love you. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, bell notification, listen to our playlist, invite your friends and family to listen, church family, Sunday school. Put it on social media if you'd be so kind. And God bless. We love you. Maybe leave a nice comment down below. Bye-bye.